There is no guarantee for success, but there are ways to get closer to it when you do the right things. Who you surround yourself with is just as important as what you do. Finding the right people, the right classes, the right activities, and taking the right tests are all decisions that shape your future. Find out more today on Destination University with Dr. Cynthia Colon. Dr. Colon and her guests will give you the tips you need, whether you're a student, parent, or educator. Now, here is your host, Dr. Cynthia Colon.
Welcome to Destination University. This month, we're running a special series called 30 Teens and 30 Dreams. We're following and tracing the tracks of 30 seniors who have been admitted to college, and we're finding out straight from them what they did right, what they would do differently, and any behind-the-scenes truths they want to share. If you are a college-bound teen or a champion of one, you are exactly where you're supposed to be. Today, you are in for a treat. Look at that face. You're going to meet Ivy.
Oh my God, that picture of me.
And Ivy is just someone that we remember from essay camp last year because she does comedy. She has just this unique background. So I can't wait for her to share her story with you. And before we jump into with Ivy, just giving you the hot tip of the day. The hot tip of the day comes to you from bigfuture.org, where Big Future is a place where you can go and create a free account. It's free to follow the steps of all the things that you need to get through the college admission process. And one of my favorite features is being able to explore scholarships. Now, who doesn't need scholarships to pay for college? We'll talk about that with Ivy today as well. So if you at bigfuture.org, again, you can create a free account and you can get matched based on your background, your achievements, your career goals, and they'll match you with scholarships. And if you are a junior, a rising senior class of 2023, every single month between now and next February, they are giving away scholarship dollars every single month. So be sure to go to bigfuture.org. All right, Ivy, sound check. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can.
All right, you're ready to rock and roll.
Yes. Oh my God, that picture of me.
Oh, wow. Well, I'm very excited because I know, sort of spoiler alert, a little bit, well, you see on her baseball trading card, as we call it, Ivy was admitted to her dream college, and I'll let you share what that is. And so here we are, and she is still in the process of making her decision. But to get started, and then you can share what your dream college is, just share with everyone, Ivy, when you got started and made your list of colleges, what were you looking for? I think you were looking for a specific major. So how did you come up and curate your list of colleges?
I was just looking for schools that had strong, I was looking for schools with like strong student involvement, schools with like lots of opportunities for students to get involved with activities on campus, and schools that cast like a wide net of things that students could participate in outside of just the classes.
Mm-hmm.
I was looking for strong writing programs, strong film programs. Yeah, that's mainly what I was looking for. I was just looking for a place where I know that even outside of the classroom, I would have opportunities to create things and collaborate with other people.
Okay, so share with everyone, what's your number one choice school, if you could have anything you wanted?
My number one choice is Emerson in Boston, which I got into, but yeah, I'm still waiting on my aid package from them. So.
Yeah, and remind me, or correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like Emerson fit all all the check marks that you wanted.
Yeah.
And it also has very specific major, or very specific things that you can do there, correct?
Yeah.
What is it that you're wanting to do?
So I plan on double majoring in, they have a comedic arts program, which is like comedy writing and screenwriting and film and all that, like under one major. And then I also want to double major in entertainment business.
Okay, awesome. Now, not too many colleges have the comedic arts piece, right?
No, I think it's only a few.
It's only a few. And how did you even find that major, or how did you figure out that that's what Emerson, or was it the other way around? Did you explore Emerson and found your major that way?
A friend of mine was applying to DePaul in Chicago, and DePaul also has a comedic arts major. And I thought that was really interesting, and I started to look into it, and I realized Emerson was the first school to do that. Like there's a few others. I think Columbia in Chicago does it, DePaul in Chicago does it, and then I think USC is starting one. But this was before USC had theirs, so there was only a few. But looking into all of those programs, I realized that I think Emerson's would be a better fit for me, and so that's how Emerson became my top choice. And then I toured it in November in Boston, and I really loved it, and I loved the city. Yeah, so that's how it became my top choice.
Oh my gosh, that's so great. And Boston is a great city to be for 4 years, because there's so many students between the ages of 18 and 22, 24, something like that. So many colleges. So great place to be. Now, do you mind sharing a little bit? I know you have some background in acting and other ways that you have explored. Like, you didn't just wake up one morning and say, I think I want to do comedy. So can you just share a little bit about kind of how your journey to getting to this place?
Yeah, I started in musical theater, and so I've been doing theater since I was 7. And when I was 13, that transitioned into like working in film and television. And so that's kind of what I'm doing, or trying to do now. It's kind of out of my control. It just depends on who hires me. But yeah, and I mean, I've always loved comedy, and I've always loved writing. And I decided around high school that well, when I was in 9th grade, my plan before was to pursue musical theater professionally. I wanted to go into studying musical theater in college. And then 9th grade, before I switched to online school, I went to a performing arts school. And I realized that while I do love musical theater, I may not have the temperament for pursuing it professionally, like entirely. It'll always be something that I love, but what you have to go through to get into college for musical theater and go to college for musical theater, and the lifestyle that you have to live in order to pursue musical theater once you get out of college as your sole path, it's a lot. It's really like, it becomes everything. And I mean, I'm sure if I really cared enough about it, I would be willing to take the plunge. But I realized that I would like to forge my own path and write my own material. And I loved comedy, and I started, I did improv, and I was doing live sketch comedy, and I did some stand-up for a while, and I was doing comedy online as well. And I realized like how like I realized like making my own stuff that's the path I would prefer to go on. It's just using my own voice and being the person maybe behind the camera more often, or behind the stage.
So my limited knowledge about comedy would be like, Seinfeld, or SNL. So is that kind of, what's your dream? What would be your dream job, I guess, for someone like?
I would love to write my own TV show. I would love to, work in television, write movies, do stand-up, keep doing stand-up. Yeah, I mean, I just like, the goal, like the dream is just to find really good like-minded collaborators. Like, I do tend to work better alone, but I think, at a place like Emerson, it's really easy to find people to collaborate with, and the school definitely, at least from what I know of it, obviously I don't go there, but from what I know of it, they definitely do breed an environment where collaboration is really encouraged between students, and there's opportunities to like meet other people who may think similarly to you or write similarly to you. And so I think in a place like Emerson, I could definitely find a lot of inspiration amongst my peers, as well as in the classes I would be taking, because they're about my chosen fields. So
that sounds great. It sounds like it would be a place for you to grow and contribute, but also be pushed and challenged by by your peers. So,
Yeah.
awesome. Okay, so the two main questions as students who are 9th grade, 10th grade, or even 11th grade who are about to enter this process, the question is, there's two questions. The first one is, what did you do right when you think about your years in high school and in terms of college admissions? What did you do right? And then the flip side of that coin is, what would you do different? What would you give your own self advice if you had to do this all over again?
Okay. So what I did right, I think the essay boot camp that I took over the summer really helped with you guys, because during the school year, I knew I wasn't gonna have the motivation to sit down and work on all my essays while I'm juggling all of my schoolwork and like the workload that a senior has, my AP classes and stuff like that. So taking the class, like the boot camp over the summer, really helped, because when I had nothing to do other than write, I could just come into the class and I just got all the work done, and then by the time I actually got around to submitting my essays, I could just edit what I already had, choose between what I had, and then submit it, and it made the whole process so much easier. What else did I do right? I think the research I did on my schools, I definitely did that right. And I think the fact that I knew what I wanted so strongly was what I did right. That kind of depends on person to person, though. That's not really a thing that, you can choose to do. I think, and some people don't know what they want to do. I have friends that are committing to colleges, but they're major wise, they're still undecided and they're just going to figure it out. I just don't operate that way. I have like a very distinct vision of what I want for myself. And so, I think like being able to know what I want for myself helped my researching process, helped me really whittle down the programs that I felt would be able to help me the most, that I would be able to fit into the most. What I would do differently, I think I would have been a little more tactful with like, I don't know, the technical aspects of it. Like, for example, with Emerson, there was a fear there that my application, I didn't get my decision on the day that everybody else did, because there was a form that my counselor had not submitted that the school needed. So my application was not complete. Yeah. And so I wish that I had just, once I submitted the application, I was like, okay, I'm done. And then I realized, like the day before decisions were supposed to come out, that there was this whole piece that was still missing from my application. And so luckily, I mean, the admissions team at Emerson is like, they're very responsive. And so we got it all figured out. My counselor submitted the form and, obviously I ended up getting into the school. But yeah, I wish I would have been, even with like Common App stuff, like I remember spending so much time filling out all the little details on the Common App, like all of the things, just like about, I don't know, about your parents and about like your family life, like outside of what the specific schools ask for, like that whole list of things that Common App needs. I just wish I had been a little more tactful with that, because it definitely, I could have taken a little more time. And so that way I wouldn't be rushing to get everything in. But I'm a big procrastinator naturally. So yeah,
Well,
it's just in my nature.
that's so funny because, and on one hand, you said what you did right was get started early on your, essays and the process, and you sounds like you did a lot of good research, and I think that's a great tip. Those of you who are listening or watching, there are so many schools, so really figuring out. I mean, if you do the research, you will find the ideal is to find a list of colleges that if you only got into, each one, like one, go by line, okay, if I only get into this school, that you would feel excited about. So that's what you write. And then it's funny because the flip side, you said that you procrastinated a little bit too much. So
yeah, I definitely thought that the writing would be what I was going to need to emphasize, which obviously that's very important, but that comes a little more naturally to me than those technical aspects. And so I just had no idea that there was going to be so many like little questions that I would need to fill out, and those ended up taking a lot of time. And so I would just say, be mindful of that. Like, check out the Common App website. If you're not a senior, check out the Common App website and like look through all of the things, the little tiny questionnaires you have to fill out, and get those out of the way early, because those take a while.
I think that's the biggest surprise to everybody is just how long this process takes.
Yeah.
And that it is a temporary part-time job to
Yeah.
do. Okay, so usually about now I say, okay, drum roll, please tell us where you're going. But so explain sort of where you are with this process. So you've been admitted to Emerson and Ithaca, and I'm not forgetting the others.
Cal State, Northridge, and Cal State LA. Those are my local schools. I don't plan on going to those, but they were like good local options, and I was glad that I got in. Once I got into Ithaca was the first school that I got into besides the two local ones. That was like a big relief. I was really worried about where else I was going to get in, and getting into Ithaca, I was like, okay, if I don't get anywhere else, I have a place where I know I could be happy. And then I got into Emerson, which obviously was like a dream, but Ithaca offered me a lot more money. Emerson's initial financial aid offer was it was not great, especially given the financial circumstances of my family that, we laid out for them. So luckily they do offer an option to appeal. And so that's the process we're going through right now, getting a little more comprehensive and specific as to why I, in particular, need more money from them, like why, paying $50,000 a year in tuition, like, is not an option for me. You know what I mean? Yeah. Because with Ithaca's aid, I mean, granted, Ithaca, the tuition is, I think, less than what Emerson is, because Emerson with no aid, all fees included, $78,000 a year. Like, that's not in the picture for me currently. So Ithaca, my tuition at Ithaca with all my aid, I don't know what the starting cost is, I can't remember, but whittled down with all the aid, it would I'd only be paying like $20,000 a year, which is totally, I think I could definitely make that work, especially, I'm applying to scholarships right now. I think I could make that work. With Emerson though, with what the aid they gave me, it would probably end up being like $55,000 or $50,000 a year still. And so it's just right now we're going through the process of like trying to get it to like the smallest amount possible, because I really want to go there. And I think I would be a great asset to the school, but the affordability is definitely a problem. So I wish I could tell you where I'm going. I have to make a decision by May 1st, which is so scary because, that's less than a month away. But yeah, I mean, right now I'm just trying to figure it out. I'm sure I would be happy at Ithaca. I'm a very adaptable person. I could be happy anywhere. I think they have a good program, but Emerson is like, I was really married to that program for a while, and the fact that I got in was a huge deal. And so, I'm just hoping for the opportunity to actually go.
Well, here's the clear message, and that is, some people would do whatever it took and take out tons of loans and just.
I don't want to take out loans.
And I think that it's very smart and mature of you to come to the reality of like, okay, do I want to leave school in 4 years with $200,000 of debt?
No.
So I think it's very smart for you to just take the road of trying to appeal, because they offer that as an option. So those of you who are watching, listening, thinking, okay, if that happened to you, ask them. It doesn't hurt to ask. Can you appeal? So there are things steps that you can take to try and rectify, the letter that you have. But at some point, Ivy's going to make a decision, and it sounds like part of that decision, maybe not 100%, but part of that decision will come down to finances. And yeah. And you can apply to scholarships now and then throughout your years as well.
Yeah, which is what I'm doing. I have like scholarships, that I am considering that I have to work on. I mean, it sucks that you have to write essays for all the scholarships, because like you basically have to dance around in front of people with much more money than you and just like prove to them that you're deserving of like an education, which, I mean, the whole thing is crazy, and sometimes I'm like, I can't believe I'm participating in this, but I think it'll give me a better life and it'll give me more options, and I want the experience. And so, yeah, right now my priority is just trying to get the money that I need.
Yeah, absolutely. So smart. So smart. Okay, my goodness. Well, if you didn't have some golden nuggets there, I hope you were taking notes. All right, stick around. I'm just going to do a wrap up and then we'll wave goodbye, okay?
Okay. Do you need me to turn my camera off?
No, no.
Okay.
No worries. Okay, I told you you were in for a treat, right? I mean, come on, who doesn't love Ivy? If this episode has in any way fueled your confidence or helped to build your dreams, maybe you are thinking about comedy right now. Please share this episode with 3 people in the next 30 minutes. And parents out there, if you do nothing else, please join us over in Destination University, the Facebook group, just like the podcast. It's Destination University, YOU, because the destination is not university, the destination is you. And that's where I share all my hot tips back there as well. You heard Ivy and so many of our students that we've interviewed mention Essay Bootcamp as a way to get started, a jump start early in the summer before to writing all of those essays that you'll need to write in the fall. You can head on over to drcynthiacolon.com/essay camp. Be sure to follow us throughout the month of April. You'll hear from students every single day and get their tips. But again, wherever you are, I hope you're having a happy and sunny day. And let's congratulate Ivy. I'm so proud of you, Ivy.
Thank you. You helped so much. Seriously, you really did.
Oh, I just was my pleasure. And I think I met your mom about maybe a year ago, maybe a little bit more, actually a little bit more. And we met through a mutual friend. And so glad that to be part of your journey. So honored.
Thank you.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you so much for all your help.
You're welcome. All right, let's wave goodbye and I'll hit.
Thank you so much for listening this week to Destination University. Be sure to join Dr. Cynthia Colon again and get one step closer to your success.